Hello, welcome to another video. Temperature is currently, let's tell you exactly what the temperature is. Minus 35. You probably can't see that. Oh no, it's minus 34. It says the temperature is minus 34. It says minus 32 on the car, but that's a little bit warm. So it's minus 34, 14 kilometers away. We're going to drive to where this weather station is, so we are going to drive where it's minus 34. So this is just a quick range test. You can see my previous video about does the e-niro start. It was minus 35 when I got in the car, so you can watch that video. Now we're going to do a little bit of a range test just to see, not a range test, but like a consumption and efficiency test. Let's see what the consumption's like in this crazy temperature. So let's put the temperature on 18 degrees auto. I've just reset the trip meter, so let's go. I'm not entirely sure exactly where I'm gonna go, but let's just keep driving for a bit and see. Probably do about 20 kilometers that way, 20 kilometers back. In eco mode, got regen turned off, 95% battery. And I'd say it's minus 34 out here now. If you didn't see the previous video, I will quickly do a recap of what the issues are with the car in this temperature. I'm amazed it started. It's been sat for days. I came out with minus 35 and it started on a button. Mega impressed I am with this starting in that. I thought the 12 volt battery would be dead, because that's what happens in these extreme temperatures. It wasn't. I'm so surprised by this car. Great. Steering wheel heater is on. The seat heater is on full. So a quick recap. I'm not sure. I'll find out. Is this an electric power steering or a power steering pump? Because the steering feels a little bit heavier than usual. So I'm leaning towards it's probably a power steering pump, and the power steering fluid is a bit thick, gets very viscous, so it's quite heavy, the steering. The suspension is creaking. The motor is making a loud noise. But other than that, it's perfect. Actually, the motor's quieting down a little bit now. As the motor's warming up, it is getting quieter. It's very loud when it's cold. When you get in the car and drive it at minus 35, the motor makes a loud noise. The climate is using 5.2 kilowatts. Now it's a fair bit of energy usage on the climate. This is exactly why I put a Webasto diesel heater in this car. I've taken it out now. I didn't know it was going to get this cold up here, and I had the family in the car, so there wasn't really space for the diesel heater, so I took that out. That's in my garage. So there's no diesel heater in this now. 100% electric heating. But so if I was driving anywhere, any sort of distance now, that would hurt me. 5.5 kilowatts, the heater. So if I drive for 4 hours, that's 20 kilowatt hours just on the heater I've used. It's an enormous amount of energy the heater uses. It's a heat pump, but the heat pump won't be doing anything now at these temperatures. It won't be. It'll probably just be like the PTC. I think it has a PTC heater as well for when the heat pump can't extract any heat out the air like now. So it's probably just PTC heating. Yeah, still 5.5 kilowatts. Consumption currently, done 4 kilometers, 33.5 kilowatt hours. 32. If this is like 25 kilowatt hours per 100 in minus 34, oh my god, that will just blow my mind. I drove the I-Pace in minus 37 and the consumption was about 45 kilowatt hours per 100. It was astronomical, the consumption. And I'm driving pretty normal. The speed limit's 80 and I'm doing 87, 88. You can't see the speed though because the steering wheel's in the way. But I'm doing like 88 kilometers per hour. Isn't that the speed I'd go back in time if I was in the DeLorean? Oh no, that's miles per hour. So I'd need to be doing 140 something. Still, the battery care, nothing. That battery care never turns on. Let's see what the battery temperature is now. The battery is minus 19 in its coldest place, minus 13 in its warmest place, and the inlet temperature is minus 24. So the battery is flipping freezing. After it's frozen, the battery is basically minus 20. So you would think the sensors would be telling the BMS that, and that battery care would be like, yeah, maybe we should warm the battery a little bit. But no, Kia needs to fix that. It's not a problem with this car. I don't think it works on any. It might come on once or twice, but it's a bit useless. That is also why the consumption is so high, because the battery chemistry is not working very well at minus 20. If I had a heated garage here and the battery was like plus 15 degrees, I'd be getting good efficiency now. Well, not good. it's still hella cold, but I would be getting much better efficiency than I am now. Now I'm on 31.5 kilowatt hours per 100, which, you know, minus, let's say it's minus 33 now because the sun's come out. That is not too shabby. Still, the climate is on 5.5 kilowatts, so that's taking a lot of energy. But this is real world test. I don't want to turn the heating off because A, I would get hypothermia real fast in these temperatures, And B, who's going to drive without the heating on in this? If you have to drive without the heating on in minus 34 or whatever, then you shouldn't really have an EV. It's all well and good trying to save the environment, but if you're putting your health and safety at risk to do so, I don't agree with that. You should be able to have the heating on, and you should be able to keep the windows clear and all this. Safety is paramount before anything else. Safety first. Okay, suspension is still creaky. But it's still quite soft. Remember, if you see in a previous video of mine, I told you that suspension goes, well, everything in this temperature goes very firm. The coil springs are super firm because the cold makes everything stiff and rigid. So the coil springs in summer, the metal's soft, they flex and they compress and they spring nice and good and soft. In winter they're really cold, really stiff, don't have as much flexibility, and then the oil in the dampers, that becomes mega viscous, and then so the dampers don't have as much ease of movement either. So everything becomes harder and firmer. But I have to say now, this is a nice drive. This is quite a plush, soft drive. I guess the tire pressures have dropped a little bit. Let's check the tire pressures. 43 psi, all the tyres, so that's good. I always run my tyres a little bit firm for times like now. So when it's warm, they're going to be around 46 or 47 psi. And then if you get a mega cold day like they can drop. So if you run them at 40 psi, they might be 30 psi now, which is just a little bit too soft for my liking. So I run them quite firm, and then in the cold, they're at a nice pressure. Kilometers done, 29.7 kilowatt hours per 100. Not too shabby. And we are sort of climbing uphill here. So when we turn around and go back, I think we will get better efficiency going that way, back. Oh, do I have any sunglasses? super warm. So it's minus 33. Well, we're right next to that weather station that said minus 34. That's only here. So let's say it's minus 34. I am warm. This is a warm car. I reckon. Okay, the heater is pretty close to maxed out. It's still on. It's still doing 5 kilowatts. Let's turn it up a little bit. Let's put it on 18.5, which might sound a bit cool to you, but when you've got your winter clothes on, 18.5 is or 19. That's super warm when you got all like insulated clothes on and lots of layers. So I've got the seat heater is on full. Steering wheel heater is on. That is nice and warm. And now I've set the climate to 18.5. I think I could drive this at minus 40. I think I could drive this car at minus 40 and I would still be warm. And I don't even have that much winter clothes on, not my usual amount. I've only got a t-shirt on underneath this jacket and one pair of socks. So, very, very warm car. I am surprised. I don't know if it would keep the whole car warm. On the driver only setting, it's using 5 kilowatts to keep the driver warm. Don't know if it could keep the whole car warm. The motor has stopped making any noise now. That's warmed up good, so that's quiet. We have silent running. I know the road is a bit noisy. Getting a little bit of ice on the windscreen, so I'm going to have to put it on the windscreen for a bit. So we've done 21.5 kilometers, so I'm going to turn around soon and head back. Let's go to 25 kilometers and then 25 back. That'll be a 50 kilometer drive, so that's a good indication of what the consumption will be in these temperatures. Parking place up here, lay-by. If that's ploughed, we can turn around in that. Car still says minus 32. 29 kilowatt hours per 100. That's insane. Just going to check the camera, it's still recording. Okay, car's now saying minus 33. Thank you for joining the program, car. It's actually minus 34. Let's check the weather again. The battery, so after that 23 kilometer drive, so the coldest place in the battery is minus 16. The warmest place in the battery is minus 10, and the inlet is minus 24. So it's warmed up a tiny amount, but not much. That probably wouldn't get above 0 even on a long drive in these temperatures. Let's check the temperature. So the car says minus 33, and now the official weather station says minus 32.2. So now the car's saying it's colder than what the weather station is saying, or whatever. Let's go with minus 33. Okay, now we head back, and then this is so warm. This you can feel the heat. It is just so nice. Super warm. This is a super warm car. Minus 33 on the dash, and I am cozy as a bug in a rug. .5 kilowatts on the heating, so I am paying for that coziness. What a beautiful day. Suspension is still creaking a little bit on bumps. That is a cold related issue. Other than that, no issues. No issues now. Let's max out the heater. Let's see what power the heater will use. Let's set the temperature to 23. It's on auto. Let's see what the heater will pull. 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. 5.7. So it's not using, I don't think that's maxed out. Let's take driver only off. So it has to heat the whole car. See if it uses more power. .7, 5.8. Six kilowatts. 5.9. 6.3. 6.2. So we're into the 6 kilowatts now on heating. 6.2. Yeah, so it's staying steady around 6.2 kilowatts now, the heating. So I'd say that's maxed out. Let's just double check. We'll put it on 27 degrees. Yeah, 6.2. So I guess that's maxed out now. 6.2 is your maximum. 6.3. Yeah, 6.3 kilowatts on the heating. That's maximum. Okay, let's not skew the results too much. Let's put it back down to driver only, and 18.5. So now it's on 18.5. Auto, driver only. I think I'll have to put it on the windscreen and the feet. The windscreen keeps clouding over, and I will put it on level 5. So now the heater's using 4.2, 4.3 on the driver only setting. So you're saving 2 kilowatts by having it on driver only, rather than heating the whole car. That's a nice saving. Car says minus 32 still. It's not warmed up. It might look warm because you're seeing the sun everywhere, but no, it's not doing much yet. I am not driving very eco. keeping the pedal pressed going up hills. And normally if I'm driving eco, I will let off a little bit going up hills, so I slow down a bit going up hills. But now I'm just pushing the pedal more to maintain the speed up the hill. This is not eco driving whatsoever. Consumption is 29. That is outstanding. That is just insanely good for these temperatures. I can't believe that. Speed limit's 80 here, so I'm doing 85. Very hard compact snow on the ground. Not too bad for rolling resistance. If it was fresh snow, yeah, that's bad. But this is like really solid ice and snow, so it doesn't affect too badly the rolling resistance. What's affecting the efficiency now? Why the efficiency is much higher? Heated steering wheel is turned off. Yeah, it turns off after a while. Turn it back on. So what's making the efficiency high now is the air resistance. The air is much thicker now because it's so cold, much denser. So the car is having to move more air out of the way to pass through it. In summer when it's super warm, the air is very thin. So that has an effect. The battery chemistry now, the battery is like -20. So it's not very efficient. The battery chemistry doing its thing, not so easy when it's frozen, so that's hurting. And the heater is using 4.8 kilowatts. So these are your key things that hurt efficiency in the winter. If you've got a heated garage, which I do in the south of Finland, that's better. So then your battery is warmer. That's one way to alleviate it. And the car stays warm for quite a while before the heater has to go on, use a lot of power. I've got the air conditioning set to 20 degrees in my garage in the south of Finland. So the whole car, all the plastics, the seats, everything is warm when you start driving the car. So the heater doesn't have to use much energy for the first half an hour. So if you've got a heated garage, that really helps. I don't. Car lives outside in Lapland in -35. So when I get in, the car has to heat everything up from -35, which takes a ton of energy. You've also got the wind chill. If it's -32 now, at 88 kilometers per hour, the wind chill must be like minus 50. So that has taken heat out of the car, which is why the heater is using so much. You basically got like a minus 50 wind chill hitting you. Consumption is 28.3, got a bit of a hill to climb now, but then we've got a downhill. I think this is going to be around 28 kilowatt hours per 100. Minus 32 on the dash. Okay, back to the village. Let's go to the bridge. We'll go to the bridge and come back because we've only done 45 kilometers now, and I want it to be around 50. So we'll go to the bridge and then come back. .9 kilowatt hours per 100. Holy macaroni. You can feel there's you can feel more resistance now when you lift off. I've got regen set to 0. When you lift off, the car slows down faster than it usually does. Usually it rolls nice, it will coast quite nicely, but now, even with no regen, you lift off, you can feel it. Here's the bridge to Norway. But we're not stopping. No sightseeing. Let's head back to the house, and then we should be like bang on 50 kilometers then. You hear that creaky suspension? Still says minus 32. Climate using 4.2 kilowatts. I like the indicator sound on this car. A random thing to like, but the indicator sound on the I-Pace sounded cheap to me. I didn't like the indicator sound on the I-Pace. But this sounds cool. I like this. Not that I'm particularly interested in indicator sounds, but I like this, like, sounds cool. I hate the ticky indicator sounds. And we are home. That was 50 kilometers exactly. .7 kilometers. Okay, let me show you the stats. So here are the stats from that drive. So 50.7 kilometers driven, 27.6 kilowatt hours per 100. Look, the temperature's gone to minus 31. Don't let that fool you. It's because I'm close to the house. It's still. Let's double check the temperature. Most of that drive was like minus 33. Yeah, so it still says minus 33 on the official weather station. So I'm calling it minus 33. It was minus 35 this morning when I came out, but it's warmed up to minus 33. So 47 minutes driving. I've just turned the heating off so it doesn't skew the stats there, because the heater's using 5 kilowatts. So it just sat still. That changes pretty fast, even just being stationary. So turn the heating off when I pulled up. That's how much power we've used. 37% of the energy went on heating. 37%. Now do you see why I have a diesel heater up here? It's not in the car right now. I don't have it in the car, but sometimes when I'm expecting super cold weather and I'm doing the long drives across Lapland and Finland, I put the Webasto diesel heater in the back of the car. This is why. 37%. Just to keep the human inside the car warm, it takes 37% of all your energy. Electronics doesn't take much, the lights and stuff, 4%. Driving was 59%. So the battery heater doesn't do diddly squat, even in this crazy temperature, which is a bit daft, but whatever. So I'm calling it, man. 27.6 in minus 33. That is outstanding. Well done, Kia. And the range, if we put the heating back on, still says we got 215 kilometers. We've done 50. So range, whoops, pressing buttons. The range in minus 33 is, I'm going to say 250 kilometers safely. You don't want to go to turtle mode. You don't want to run the battery low in these temperatures. So I'm going to say 250. And I did mess with the heating on that run. I put the heating to maximum to see how much the climate would use. It started using 6.4 kilowatts. So I did do a few things on that. I could have got a little bit better consumption. I wasn't driving very eco. If I had to do a 200 kilometer drive now, I would drive more eco. So I'm going to say 250 kilometer range in minus 33. Flipping, that's mega. Mega. We've still got 75% battery, so yes, we've used 25%, so you're gonna think, well, doesn't that equate to 200 kilometers of range? No, because we used so much energy heating the car up from cold. Now we're only using 3.5 kilowatts on the climate, so we use a lot of energy to heat the car up initially. Everything was so cold. Let's check the battery temperature now. Everything was so cold. Now we've put a bit of heat into stuff, we will get more. We'll get more range out of everything. Yeah, so the battery's warmed up a little bit now. It's minus 12 in its coldest place, minus 7 in its warmest place. So that helps. Now that the battery's getting a bit warmer, so on a long drive it probably would get to around 0, maybe even like 3 or 4 degrees. So that definitely helps. When I got in the car it was minus 20, the battery temperature, which is why the consumption was high initially as well. So there you have it. Can you drive an EV in minus 33 or minus 35? Yes, you can. Can you drive far? Relatively, yes. You can do 250 kilometers, which is fine. Happy with that in these temperatures. Any issues? No, not really. It is all good. Let's see the 12 volt battery. So yeah, so the 12 volt battery is charging fine. That's up for 14.2 volts. No issues. So there you have it. Kia e-niro, brilliant extreme cold car. Passed all the tests. This is the coldest I've ever driven this car. I am surprised by this today. It's impressed me. Extreme cold. It's been minus 35, minus 36 overnight. The car's been stood here, not been used in a few days, and it just took that, no problem. Thanks for watching. I'm going in the house to have a hot drink and some breakfast. See you in the next one, when hopefully it's a little bit warmer. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.